Good morning, everybody. Um, this is the HTML course I promised to share with you guys, and making this video about 12:44 a.m. today. Now, let's just dive into what we have to do today. Okay, I already have my VS Code set. As you can see, it's open already, and I've created a folder for this, which is the class folder. Now let me just go into this and create a file called index.html. Having created a file, I'll just go straight to create the boilerplate, which is like the skeleton, by holding my shift 1. Now this is an exclamation mark. When I press enter, you see the container, the skeletal part of the HTML is here already. Okay, let me just run along and run this on the web server. Let me just open the web server. Okay, you can see the web server is open here already. That's what we have here on this white page. Let me just share my screen so we'll be seeing everything side by side. Okay, this is it. This is what we have. Let's work with this. So while I'm typing here, you'll be seeing everything here. Now, like I started this course on Saturday evening for those of us that were present. So today I'm going to be doing the complete version of what I started on Saturday. Okay. Now, what exactly is HTML? I know most of you have been hearing about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and the likes, web development, and all that. So, what exactly is HTML? HTML is actually the introductory part of web development, and the definition of it is simply hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language. What does it mean? It's simply the text that is found on the web page. Any written text on any web page, be it Facebook, be it Twitter, Amazon, YouTube, even company website, any written text or image or anything you can see that is just written or placed there is what has HTML for you. For instance, let me just go to a website. Let me say Google. Okay, I have Google Map here already. Let me just show you something. Now, this is Google website, Google Map actually. As you can see, you're seeing some right up here. These are all HTML. This image was put here using HTML. These are buttons. All these buttons, they are put here with HTML. Also, this search box here is HTML. When I scroll down, you see some other features. They are all HTML. This drop down button here, that when you click, you will see some things. They are all HTML. So HTML has so many other features apart from the written text, which we're going to be looking at this morning. So let's dive into what we have without much stories. Now, first of all, like I said, HTML is hypertext markup language. And one thing you need to know about it is that in HTML, we write in tags. As you can see here, this is a head tag, and within the head tag, you can see so many write-ups here. For instance, this title is what is reflecting on this page. And also, whatever you find in this heading, anything you see here is what we have from this line upward. This is where we have our URL and other things up here. From this line upward is within this head, and from this line downward, all this white page is within this body. Anything you write on this body, for instance, let me just write some text and say welcome to this. See, what I wrote on the web page now has appeared automatically on this part. You can see welcome to this course. So whatever you write on the body, in the body tag, it more will display inside this white page. So for those websites you've seen so far, like Facebook and every other thing you see, find website you see, everything you can find on any website is written within the body tag. And that's where you write everything you want to use in your website. Now, first, I want us to see some things. First, if you check here, you're seeing my title here is document, and also it is written here. I can decide to change it to give it my own. So, and I will say Austin's website. Now I've given it a name. You can see Austin's website I wrote in the title has appeared here. So that's how you can give your web page a title. Okay. Now let's move down to what we have this morning. Now in HTML, we write in tags, like I've mentioned before. We write in tags. We don't just write on the body of the web page. We write in tags. And writing in tags help us to equally style it and also position our items where they are supposed to be. Okay, that's the major reason why we write in tags. And we have so many tags which we can use for so many purposes. Okay, now for the first thing we're going to be looking at, we're going to be looking at the heading tag, because in every web page there is a heading. Yes, we'll be looking at the heading tag, and the heading tag itself is written as h1. H1, how do we write that? We say shift less than h1. When I close this, greater than, the CVS code automatically give us the closing tag. Now for every opening tag, there is a corresponding closing tag. For some, actually, for some, we'll get there and I'm going to explain what that means. For some opening tag, there is a corresponding closing tag. Like this H1 now, this is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. The closing tag always carry forward slash within. Okay, as you can see here, it always carry forward slash. Now, this is the H1 element. We can write this. Whenever we write in the H1, we know that we are trying to target a heading, and um, this H1 vary from 1 through 6. Okay, whenever we are using the head tag, we can write within the H1 to H6, and as the value increases in the H tag, as the value increases, the font size decreases on the web page. I will show you some examples. That's one thing that H tag does. The H1 has bigger font size. The H2 has, let me just say, small and medium, and the likes, they keep going down, down, down like that. For instance, let me use the H1. Let me say hello. Now, if you can see, hello is written boldly in there. Hello. And you can see this one is kind of big. This is the H1 element. Everything combined, both the tag, the written word, and closing tag, they are all called H1 element. H1 element. This is the H1 opening tag, this is the H1 text, and this is the H1 closing tag. All these are called the H1 element. Now, within this H1, I wrote hello, and you see hello automatically appeared here. Now, I want to change this H1 and write something like H2. Let me say shift less than H2 greater than. H2 automatically closes. When I write something within this again, like another hello, see the difference. Now you see the first hello is different from the second one because this one is bigger than this. So like I said, as our H element increases, as the value increases, the font size does what? Decreases. So the first H1 is bigger than the H2. Likewise, H2 is bigger than the H3. Let me just do H3 here, shift less than H3, greater than, let me say hello again, and you see the difference. Now you see this one is bigger than this one is bigger than this one. That's how we write. So it all depends on what you want to write, what size of H element you want to use on your web page. If you want your font to be bigger, you can go with this first one. If you want it to be smaller, you can go with the least. Now let me just jump to the last one, H6. Now H6, when I write welcome with this, you see it's kind of tiny, but it's still bold to make you understand that this is a H tag. Okay, H tag is always bold, no matter how small they are always bold. So these are the ways we write the heading, either the big one, the small one, like that. Just write whatever you want, choose any H elements you want. You can use different H elements in a particular web page. It doesn't really matter. It all depends on what you are trying to create. So that's the H tag for us. So I'm going to be writing some things with the H tag, like a welcome story. I will just say in caps, I'll say welcome. Welcome to this course. Now you see I've written my heading in each one. Okay, so the next tag we'll be looking at is the P tag, which is like the paragraph tag. The paragraph tag helps us to write plain text on the web page. It helps us to write plain text on the web page, and it's written as P, not P1, but just P. For instance, I will say shift less than P greater than. You see also it has a corresponding closing tag. And when I write anything here, you will see the difference with the H1. Okay, like I said, it's used to write plain text. Okay, with this now. So welcome to this course. So I hope you're in. Now you see, I hope you are enjoying it. It's just with a plain text. So you see H1, which is the heading tag, is different from the paragraph tag, because this one serves as a heading and this one serves as the body, like the plain text within the body. So whichever way you want to write or whatever you are trying to write on your web page, you have to choose what tag that suits you. Okay, what tag suits what you are planning to do at the moment. So I've written some text here with the heading and also some text here with the P tag. Now, the next thing we're going to be looking at, I just want to rush this video so that I'm going to cover so much part of this work this morning. So you see the P tag, I've written some things here. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to extend this P tag because I want to use some of the functions, other tags to work with this. So I said, I hope you enjoy this. Okay, let me continue and say this course basic HTML. This course is the basic of HTML. Okay, let me just stop here. This course is the basic of HTML. Say, I hope you are enjoying it. This course is the basic of HTML. Now, another tag I want to introduce to us. Okay, let me just open this so that it will be clear for us to see. So I prefer writing my tag like this. My opening tag will be at the top, my text will be in the middle, then my closing tag will be here. Yeah, it's better to write this way so you know how and when you are ending. Okay, whatever you are trying to do, you will know where they are opening and where they are closing. Let me also change this header. Put this like this. so that you will see it clearly. Now, this is the opening H1, this is the text, and this is the closing H1. You can see nothing changed, no matter whether I change the positioning of the text, nothing changed in the website. Now, I've written this. I want to introduce another thing to us. There's another tag we call BR tag, and the BR tag stands for break. Is simply a break tag, and the break tag does not have a corresponding closing tag. Such a tag is called a void tag. Void, VOID, void tag. Those tags that don't have corresponding closing tag, they are called void tag or void element. Okay, I'm going to explain them and I'm going to list them for us to see when I'm done with this first part of the story. Okay, now let me introduce the break tag to us. I have the first text here. I hope you are enjoying it. Now, and I want this my other text to leave this first line and come to the second line, like start from the second line. If I do this by clicking enter in this place, nothing will happen no matter the space I give. No matter the space I give in the web on my VS Code, nothing will happen the web page because the VS Code sees all this space as just one space. That's what VS Code does. It sees all your spacing as just one space. So, but how do I bring this text down so that it will also appear on the web page as I want? Like taking this is the basic of HTML down here. All I need to do is to introduce my break tag, say Shift B R less than BR greater than. When I do that, you can see on the web page, my this is the basic of HTML automatically goes down by introducing the BR tag. So I'm trying to break the text. On the VS Code, you see the text is still on the same line, but this break tag helps me to break it down to this format I want. Like I said, I targeted this part and it's written here. So that's how we break our text in HTML. Okay, so we break text. If I add another break tag to this, say shift less than BR greater than, you see there will be more space. Like you see that the space is more. That's how we can create space using HTML. Although we have this property in CSS, but for this, since this course is just for HTML, I'm just trying to let you know how you can do certain things without introducing CSS to it. Okay, now here is the break tag. I added two break tag and it gave me the first breaking to come there, down here, and the second one will be to create space. If I want to widen this space, I can add more break tags to that. I'll say shift B, shift less than BR greater than, then the space will be wider. Now I'm giving two lines margin in this place. So this is how we give space within our HTML by introducing the break tag. But let me just take this out. This one is enough for us to see. So let's go back to the normal position. Now, there's another tag I want to introduce to us. And the next tag is HR tag, which is the horizontal tag. What does it do? Horizontal tag helps to rule a horizontal line across the web page. That's what it simply does. It helps to rule a horizontal line across the web page, no matter where you put it. I might decide to put it here above my PR, and I'll say shift less than HR greater than. You see, there will be a line. Now you can see this line across the web page. It ran through from the beginning to end of the web page. That's what HR tag does. It helps to introduce a horizontal line, and this tag is also a void element. You see, now it does not have a corresponding closing tag. It's just HR like BR. Okay, so that's what the HR tag does. It helps to rule a horizontal line across the web page. Now, another tag I want us to see is the image tag. The image tag being img, like image short form img, is used to add images to the web page. That's what it simply does. It's used to add images to the web page. For instance, let me show you how it's written. I'll say shift less than ing, all in small letter. Note that all the tags I've been writing, I've been using small letter. Please don't use capital letter. It's not advisable, although it will work, but it doesn't make any sense to use capital letter to identify your tag. If you see the way it is here, HTML is written in small letters, head is written in small letters, and every other tag tied to small letters. Okay, always use small letters. Now, for the image tag, when I write this is it, the ing tag. But this also is a void element. If you check it, it's image tag, but how do I impute image within this tag? Yes, this image tag has a special property where in a way we add images to the website. It has some special properties within it. And before the closing and bracket, let me just say the greater than sign. Before the greater than sign, we have some text within it. We have src equal to, in quotes. This is where we put we target our images. Okay, src is simply denoted as source. It's like, okay, the image tag you open, we need a source. We need you to fetch an image or any title or any link from the web or anywhere to add to this. Okay, so we need a source. Now with this source, now if I add anything here, it's going to appear on the web page. And also there's another thing, another attribute that is going to be added to this is called ALT. When I add that to it, still the same question mark in quotes. This ALT is simply called alternate. What does it do? It helps us to notify us of what kind of image we have there, just in case there is no let's say we are fetching an image from the web and there is no network on our system at the moment. All we need to do is to add this image, that this alternate tag telling us what type of image we have at that moment. If the image is broken, I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes now what that really does. Now I want to introduce a particular image to us. I want to fetch from the web. Let me just go to, let's say, on Splash, something like, okay, on Splash, where I get free images from. Okay, images. I have some images here. Okay, as you can see, this is an image of a woman with a baby. This is an image of a woman with a baby. So I just want to get this. I want to get the address of the image. Say copy image address. I'll copy that. And I'll come back to my website. I'll go back to my VS Code. I'm going to add that here, pasting it. You can see this is the link. Now you can see the image has appeared on the web page. Okay, as it is from the web. This is how it is. Okay, see the woman and a baby. Now, for me to be able to note, okay, what kind of image is this? I'll call it, let's say, family 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 pic, something like that. Family pic. Now, family pic is simply what I have here. Just in case I don't have data and this image doesn't load and I'm trying to think, oh, what kind of image did I even have here in this section of my website? My alternate will fall back to tell me, oh, there was a family pic here, like a woman carrying a baby. Now, for instance, let me just clear this image. Let me try to delete this image and show you something what that does. Okay, when I delete this, you will see what will happen. Now you see there's a broken image here showing that there was an image, oh, but the network did not really load for that image to come. And what kind of image do we have here? Say family pic. That's what the alternate does. It helps us to actually notify us of what kind of image we have at the moment in a particular position. Okay, so that's what that does. Now let's just add that image again and give it a particular width. Now I want to give my image a particular width. Okay, although I'm adding a bit of CSS, but I just want to continue with that. Now, so let me say width. Let me just give it width of 200 px. Let it be so small. Okay, now you can see I've reduced the size of the image by giving it a width of 200 px. Okay, we normally style our work in pixels, like on your phone. Your phone has like 18 pixels, like all those pixels. So the system, the phones, any gadget uses pixels. So that's why whenever we are trying to style our work, we use pixels, because that's what computer uses actually. Okay, so that's that for that. When we get to CSS, you understand more about that. So I've added an image to my website. So this is how you add image. You first of all write out the image tag. Within the image, you have your source where you fetch whatever image you want to add to the system. Then also an alternate. It's optional, this alternate. Sometimes we delete it because we already know what we are doing. But for beginners, you need it because everybody, not just beginners, everyone needs it for you, because when you are building a website, for it to remind you of what image you are missing at that point. So you need to go back and replace it. So that's what that image tag actually does. So now let's move on to other tags. Now I've added image. Let me add video. Now let's talk about the video tag. This is another special property that people miss out on. And also, almost everybody needs it. In some websites, you need some videos to be playing while people are trying to search other things in your websites. They need to watch some videos and add some things to it. So now the video tag is simply video tag, but this one has a corresponding closing tag. For instance, let me show us something. Say shift less than video greater than. Now you see there is a corresponding closing tag in the video. But so how do we add our video? We don't just add the video name or anything within this video part. Okay, we only do that in this first tag, by the closing tag. The way we wrote this our image tag, we had a source. The video also needs a source for it to function. And also there is another thing about video. No matter what video you add on your website, the video won't play until you do something. I'm going to show you that. First, we need our source. I'll say src, enter. Now I'm going to fetch some video from the web. Let me go to, what's this one? And go to maybe youtube.com. youtube.com. That is my youtube.com. I have, okay, I'm seeing a video here. Okay, let's say okay, let's use a short video. This HTML and CSS tutorial. Let me just copy the address and go back to my website. Copy the address and to paste it here. When I paste it here, my video automatically appears. Okay. Okay. The link is not coming up. It's not coming. With source. Okay, let me change the video. That one is not really showing because it needs us to download it. Okay, let me just quickly download it so I'll show you something. So let me download it so I'll show you something. Okay, let's just say I have some videos on my system already. Let me just go there and copy that. I will explain the reason why this one didn't show, because what we need here is actually source. Okay, let's say a link for that to play. Let me just go to my system, get some videos if I have. Okay, if I have some videos, let's go to download. Let me get a short video. Okay, I have the PHP posting video here. Okay, let me use this one. Paste, paste it. This file is where I have my class. Paste it here. Okay. Now I've pasted it there. Now we have a video already. Now let me close this one and go back to the page. Okay, now we have a video already in my. Now you can see the video I copied is here already. Say let's create something blah blah blah. So I'm going to call this video now, and you see how it will appear on my system. Now the video name starts with 28. Just get this. Let me rename it. Let me rename it so that it should be easier for us to, let's see, PHP, PHP, something like that. So I'm going to call it PHP as okay, php.mp4. Now you can see now the video, you see the video has appeared here. The video has appeared here, but this video is just good for nothing because it's just like a picture or an image. Let me reduce the size of the video so that you see it. Let me add a width of, let's say, 300 px so that you see it clearly. Okay, now you can see side by side with this image because they are all inline elements. I'm going to be explaining that later. Let me increase it to 400 pixels so that you will see it clearly while it's about to play. Now you see this image is just here like this video is just here like an image. It has no function. Yeah, my system. There's no function here. There's no function also here in the image. But if I want this video to have some function like play, stop, and increase screen and the likes, I'm going to add something, a particular property to it. And what's that property? I can come here before the source or anywhere within the listen, and I'll say add controls with the S. See, controls with the S. You must add S to it. Now, when I add control, you see now that players come here, volume, increase, and everything. Now, let me play the video so you will see.
Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to implement everything we learned up until now in these past many episodes to build a login system. So we will actually have a PHP application that can do something inside a website. And I do want to point out this is a very long video and I will have chapters in the description so you can actually skip ahead if you want to. But just to point out, this is going to be
so that's how we add videos to our web page. Now you can see this video is side by side with the image because they are called inline elements. Inline elements. I'm going to explain that. But for me to make this video come down, I can add a break tag like what I introduced earlier. The break tag is used to break any element and bring it down. Let me just say BR, PR there. Now you can see I've taken the video down, okay, by adding a break tag. So that's one thing we do. I can still put it back where it belongs. Let it just stay there for the meantime. I'm going to explain that to us, although I need the space to work with, but I'm going to explain that to us later. So that's how we add videos to our web page. For those of us who are into let's say who are YouTubers or who are into other aspects of bloggings and the rest, we need to add videos. Oh, this is how you can add a video to your website. Okay, so when you add your video, you just call the controls for every buttons, every function to play. If you don't add these controls, it's not going to play. It will just serve as an image, although it's a video, but there will be no function. So that's one thing about the video. Now let's move on to some special tags. Now the next tag we are going to be looking at, let's just dive into that for sure. I want us to look at input tag. These are special tags which we use to add some like items like search box, the text area, buttons, and so many things. I'm going to be listing a few of them here because of time. I'm going to be listing a few of them here. Now let's move on to our input tag. First of all, let me break this video part. Let me put a break so that whatever we write will come down. Now say BR. So now anything I'm going to write will be under here. If I don't add that BR, it will keep going side by side by side like that. It will be written here. So since the next thing I'm going to write is also an inline element, is going to be written side by side with the videos. So I want it to be written below here. So that's why I'm adding that BR. So I've added the BR. Now let's see what that means. Okay, under this BR, I can now introduce my tag, input tag, input tag. I'll say shift less than input, input greater than. Now you can see the input tag is also a void element. It does not have a corresponding closing tag like the BR tag, like the image tag, like the HR tag. All these are void elements I've explained before. Now the input tag, see now I've not given any input name or type or anything. Now you can see a box has appeared here, a box where I can write something. See, this is how we introduce our input tag. But this tag is just a box. It does not have any use. It does not have any indicator. Nothing. It's just an empty box. So how do we make this tag useful and have an indicator? What I'm going to do is that within this input tag, before the closing bracket, let's say greater than, I will give a space and I will give it a type. I'll give it a type. And I'll say within that type, I can say, okay, let this box be a text box. A text box. Now the box is going to be just for text now, like text box naturally, because that's what I've named it to be. And since it's a text box, we have so many text which we can write, but I want it to be a special text box. I can give it a placeholder, what we call placeholder. It will only give a faded item there, like indicator, telling us what kind of text box, what kind of box is this? Is it for email? Is it for name and the likes? Let's just do that. I'll now say after this, I'll say placeholder, placeholder. Within the placeholder, I will not give my indicator. I can say, okay, this box is used for what? For name. Now you see name is here. So all I just need to do, if I see a box like this in my form or anything, this is the way we create form box in a form. Okay, I'll just say, okay, this name, I'll just type my name, Austin. So I'll just indicate my name there and it will, that's faded name will just disappear when I start writing. So that's how we write our names. The next one I want to create still the same text box. I'm going to put a break because if I write it, if I introduce another one, input, let's say shift, input, introduce another one and create a type for it. Create a type for it, and I say this type now will be is used for just email. What I'm going to do, I'll create a placeholder again and call it Now you see the next box is written as email, indicating email. So I just have to add my email. Say Austin at gmail.com. So you see now this one is for email, this one is for name, email. So this box is only for email since it's indicating email. If you write name there, it will not really work. Now for me to, now you can see what I see I'm writing the text. This one is the first one. Below it, I wrote the text box. On the web page, it's showing us side by side. That the text box is just side by side because these text box they are also called inline elements. Like I said, inline elements are elements that take as much space as they could. You see this video, all the image and video, they are both inline elements, so they are standing side by side. If I had not put this break here from the video, this input box also will be side by side like this from this image. Let me just show you something by removing this. Let me just comment on this. Now you see what will happen. Now you see the text box has gone back to where it's supposed to be by right, by default, because it's an inline element. Okay. Now H1 I wrote first is a block element. You see there are so many space here, but this P tag did not really follow that line, to follow that space because both H1 and P tag they are all block elements. Block element take the whole line of code, as in the whole space in the position where they are written. No matter whether I wrote, if I write just W, as far as it's within a H element or any block element, be it a P tag or any container tag like a div and the likes, which I'm going to explain later, they will take the whole space. Even though it's one letter, W will take the whole space. But see this big video and everything is sharing space with image and text box because all these ones they are all called inline elements. Okay, so now let me just comment on my break so that the text will come down again. I just did a comment. I use my control and forward slash to create a comment. In HTML, if you want to create a comment, you will say shift less than exclamation mark. When I put forward as a minus minus, you see everything becomes green. As it's green like this, it's showing on my VS Code, but it's not displaying on my website because I've commented on it. Okay. Now, if I want to comment on only the break tag, I will continue the same thing and say minus minus then greater than. See now, it's commenting on only the first one. So my image, my input box has gone back to where it belongs. So if I want to uncomment on it, I can just cancel it or just say control forward slash. It will just disappear. So that's how we comment on our text on our web page. I can comment on this one by highlighting it and say control forward slash, which is like control question mark. It will clear out everything, although it's still showing on my VS Code, but it's not showing on the web page. So I can still do the same thing. I light on it and control forward slash or control equal to. It will clean up every comment and open my page again. Now you see I have a name and email box here. Now I want them to be up and down. So I just have to create a break. Let me create a break here so that see now it's breaking. Let me just create on down. So I'll have space between them. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do will be to add an extra box here. We have so many input box. Say shift less than input greater than. When I do that, I can do another type and say type. I can call this one password. Password. For the password, I can do a placeholder. Password again. Now you see how this text is going to be. See now, anything I write here will be like the password. So let me just say I put my password. See now, you cannot see it because it's a password text box. Okay, so This one is specially for password. You cannot write any other thing apart from password. And this one is specially for email, and this one is specially for name. Okay, so whatever you are trying to do is how you will do it. So that's how we write all these things. Now that is a password. Let's hurriedly, let me break this one again. Let's hurriedly write. Let me put two breaks so I have space. Now let's do some other things. Input again. We have so many input. This time around, I'm not going to list them again. I'll just have to add these ones. So we have text box for numbers. We have text box for numbers. If you come here to write here now, you see there's an arrow here that will give you -1, -2, -3 like that. If you click the up one to give you number from like to infinity, just keep counting. Like see now, it's just for numbers. Okay, this text box is only strictly for numbers. Now you cannot write name, you cannot write any other thing, only number. So it's just going to indicate that for us that this one is for number. So let me just put an indicator there and say placeholder. Placeholder is used to give an indicator, and I will say numbers. Okay, numbers. So that's what that does. And another thing, okay, I'm going to pause here so that I will be anyone I'm going to write now. I have to delete it because I need space to work with. Now, so this one is for numbers. Okay, the next one I'm going to write now will be, okay, let me just space it so that we'll have some things to write with. Another input box, shift input, greater than. Within that, I'll have type, then I'll say checkbox. See this one now is a checkbox. See, if I check it, uncheck, check, uncheck, check, uncheck, you can see it's small here, the checkbox. That's how we input checkbox in our website. Okay, so I'm going to change this checkbox now. I'm going to change it. Let's just put another one. I'll say range. Range. Now this range, for those of you that will be building some maybe application like maybe audio player or anything, you want to increase volume like that, decrease, increase like that. This range you use what you use, okay, to do anything. If you are creating a video player or anything, okay, time for you to increase or do anything, or you want to create anything that has volume, is what you use. You just type your range and you modify it and let it be effective in your website. Okay, that's one thing. That's range. Another thing we need to know, we'll say URL. URL. So we have a text box for URL. This one is just for URL alone, like the URL we normally have here. So all the URL we have here is how you write it, just in case you want to fix that in your website. You can put a URL there like HTTPS, HTTPS, // and the likes. Just write everything you need to write. That's for URL alone. There are so many. I can also, let me just add a few so that we'll move to the next item. So I want to add like this one, type submit, submit. This one will be for button. Okay, it will be for button, submit. Although we have button tag, but this one is another way in which we can write buttons. So we can call it submit. We can still give it a value. If I want to change what is written within there, I will say a value of, let's say, post. So this one will now become a post button for me. The value will determine what kind of button I want. Although submit is still there, I can still call my value submit. Submit like that. It will still give me the same thing. It doesn't really change anything. So it all depends on what you want to add in your website. So that's just that. Then one more or two more. Let me just give two more. And we can use this one for date. I use this one for date. Now, like if I click here now, you see today's date is 1st of September 2023. See now, 1st of September. So I can create today's date, 1st of September. See 9/01 um, 2023. So current date. So you can also use your input box to create current date. And also I can say date and time. Date and time. Now whichever one I want to do. Okay, date and time. So let me create time here. I use this one to also create time. Now see the time. What's the time? This is 1:35 a.m. 1:35 a.m. So you see 1:35 a.m. our current time. Okay, so it's 1:35 a.m. as at this moment. So these are current time. So we can set it and say let this one be the 1:35. So this is 1:35 a.m. at this moment. That's when I'm recording this. Okay, so many things in which we can use input for. Okay, now another thing I want us to look at is text area. Like on our website, let's say in Facebook, you will see a space where they will say what's on your mind, something like that. Now we can create that. I can say shift less than text, sorry, text area. When I do that, I'll close it. Now our text area has a corresponding closing tag. It has a corresponding closing tag. And the text area is simply, okay, look at how it is. Look at how it is. It's just a text box where you can write a bunch of words and everything. You can either stretch it or it can be stretched like that. Anything you want to write, whichever way you want to do that, you can do it. But it still has some properties, attributes inside. For instance, for the text area, it actually requires some rows and columns. Rows and columns. Now for the rows, it goes like this. We have WORS, rows. Now within the rows, I can write, let's say if I want it to be like, let's say 10 rows, it's going to be longer. Now you see, now is a bit longer, like the rows 1, 2, 3, 4, like that is a bit longer. If I want to increase the column to like adding COLS, you must add S column. Let's say I make it 20. Now the column, let's say, okay, let me use 40. 20 is just like small. Let me use 40. Now you see 40 is wider, something like this. This is a color, this is a text area. I can write my bunch of text here. Okay, you can see that's how we write text area. We create our text area like the Facebook aspect to tell you what's on your mind. Let me reduce the row so that you see clearly. Like let me give you 6 rows and 40 columns. With that now, I can put the indicator like Facebook and say placeholder and say what's what's so you can indicate Facebook and also have that. Now, what's on your mind? What's on my mind? Okay, I want to sleep. Sleep is on my mind now. It's getting late already. So I'm about to sleep, but I have to finish this video before going to bed. So that's what's on my mind. Okay, don't mind me, I'm just joking. Can work till the morning. Okay, that's how we write our input box. Okay, so having done that, now I just want this page to still remain. I don't want to scroll down. I just want this page to still remain. Let me just go down here and give some. Okay, I want to create some you follow along, you see, let me just, so, okay. Now you can see all these I've done so far. I want to remove this video. I want to comment on this video so that you see what I've done. Space on the screen. I don't want to scroll down to remove the video. Okay, now I commented on the video. I didn't actually delete it. That's what you can do with comment actually. You can just comment on it. It will not display on the web page. It will only display on your VS Code as you can see here. But if you want to make it visible again, you open it. Okay, so that's what we can do with our text box and every other thing. Now I want to create a button. Let me put the break. I want to create a button, not the input button. I showed you how to put input button, but this time around, I don't want to put input button. I want to put break here. So okay, let me put a break here so that this one will align. Break everything to be on the same partner. So it's just that we have our name, email, password, phone number or number, then our text area, something like this. Then I want to put a button beneath. Then I'll come here and say shift less than B. Then now you see the button has appeared here. Like you see, there's a small button here. Yeah, but it doesn't have an indicator. It doesn't show us anything that, oh, this kind of button we have until I write something here and I say this one will be, let's say, send button. This will be my send button. So you see now the button here is indicating send what I've written here. So it's showing send. So now you see we have our name, our email, our password, our number, then what's on your mind, and also a button for us to send with. All these things are written and placed in what we call a form tag. I can copy, I can cut all these things, all of them, I can cut them and place them within a form tag. Now, a form tag always carry action and input. That's when you want to start sending it to your email or send a message. When we get there, I'm going to explain further. Okay, but I want to paste all this within our form tag. So this is how we actually write all this, because we don't just write input like that. We normally put them in form tag. Okay, so it's now suitable for use. Everything has to be inside a form, and this form is a container. This is a container. It does not really do anything. It's just containing all these things. Okay, it's just a container that can contain all your inputs, anything you want to do like this. This is how we do it. Okay, I want to create this one. Let me create one space. Let this one side by side with this brother. Okay, let's password and this one is side by side. So I'll create space. Something like this. Now I have space at the bottom. I have space at the bottom. Okay. So now let's continue. Now we have all this. Now I want to add some other tag. There's another tag I want you to note. Like the website we opened already. Like let me just use YouTube and see if we have some things like that. Okay, we don't have some things like that. Let's go back to what I opened before using Google Map. Okay, I showed you something earlier. Now you know how to write some text. Now you know how to create a button. Now you know how to create a search box. Okay, you know how to add image like it is here on Google Map. I want to show us something. Now see this drop down button. This drop down button that you can see some list here and everything. I want to add it to our website so that we'll see how it's being done. I'll do it here so that you will see how it's being done. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create what we call a select tag. A select tag. I'll say shift less than select greater than. Now it has a corresponding closing tag. And if you can, as you can see here, okay, let me create a break so you see clearly. Now, if you can see it here, I have a tag here, like something like we saw on the Google page. Now, if you see here, it has a drop down, but there's nothing written here. It's just as useless as anything. So I want to make it useful. Within the select tag now, I'm going to write some text there. Now, select tag always carry what we call the option tag. Option tag. I'll say shift less than option greater than. Now this option tag also have a corresponding closing tag, and within the option tag I want to write something. It also carries what we call value. The option tag carries value. Now in this value I'm going to write something here. Let's say for instance I want to write some social media icon, or let's say, okay, let me just talk about some countries. Now we are in Nigeria currently. I love my country so much. No matter what is happening in this country, I still love my country. Okay, so now I want to write maybe a tag that can require you to select what country you are from. Now let's say for instance the first one is Nigeria, fatherland. So I'm going to put Nigeria there. I'm going to put Nigeria there. Nigeria. So Nigeria is going to appear on the drop down. Okay. When I copy this one and paste it, don't mind me, easy to type. So I'm going to copy and paste several times. Then just change the countries there. The value, I'm going to say England. I love England too. England. I'm going to add England here. Let's see. I also love Poland. It's love the country. I love Poland. Then I also love France. France. Now, I've listed a few countries here, 4 countries that I can select from. Let's say you're trying to fill a form and they ask you to input your country or your location where you are from. You can simply click here. When you click here, you see the list of countries here I've listed. Oh, this is Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. Some persons can choose England and England will appear there. Some persons can also choose France and Poland. Poland will appear there. Some can choose France. France will appear there. So that's how we do this drop down button, like select. You can style it with CSS and make it longer. But this is just HTML course. So I'm not going to talk much about this. This is how you create your drop down and your select button. You can add values here like number 1 to 100. You can add let's say social media sites, Facebook, Amazon, Twitter, and the like. Just put all of them here, anything, so that people can select their choice and everything. You can select different, either food or anything. So whatever, or movies too, anything you want to add in your website, you can put it inside this drop down for your client to select what they want. Okay, so let me go to Nigeria. So I prefer Nigeria to be on the first page. So that's how we add our select item, the drop down. So this is how we do it. We create our select container. Then within our select container, we add our option. Within our option, in the value, we add what we are going to put inside, because we need this when we are doing JavaScript. We're trying to send a link to where, or the country code and everything. We need all this value. But for now, it sounds like it's not useful. But later, when you're doing JavaScript, you know the usefulness of this value. But the major thing here is this tag. If I remove Nigeria as a value, if I remove Nigeria as a value, you see there's no change here. Nigeria is still there on the list. Okay. So, but we need the value because of JavaScript. Okay, that's that for that. So you now know how to do some drop down buttons. Okay, that's how we create some drop down buttons on the web page. Okay, now let me create some break. Okay, let's move on. Now I want to create what I called list. List. Let's look at list. Now, in your website, let's say for some school website and everything, we know that um you can find some list of items like home, about, product, contact us, blog, and the likes, blah blah blah. All those things, the way they write it, I want to show you this morning how we can do that in our web page. But we need CSS to style them, but I'll just show you how the basic on how to write it. But when we are doing CSS officially, I'm going to show you how we can make them look like a standard website. So we're going to be talking about lists. For lists, we have two basics, although they are like three, but two majorly we normally use, but generally we use one actually for creating website. But you can know the two basic of list. And we have the first one, we have ordered list. Ordered list are lists that has numbers, let's say numbers from one through any amount. Okay, so it's just series of numbers, items that has numbers. But unordered list are items that deals with bullets. I'm going to show you right away. Now for the ordered list we have, let's say, let me use page one to write, or h3 to write it. So I'll start combining things now. H3, let's say ordered, sorry, ORDERD. Okay, now this ordered list and un- unordered. Yes. Okay, this ordered and unordered lists. Ordered and unordered lists. Now I want to clear some space here. Sorry, like I said, I don't want to really go down there. I want to clear some space, especially these ones up here. So that's my text should go up a bit so you can see what I'm actually doing. Now, for ordered and unordered list, how do we write it? For ordered list, we use what we call OL tag. Say shift OL greater than. Now you see there is a corresponding closing tag. You see now nothing appeared on the screen. Nothing appeared. But within this OL tag, for me to have my list, I can just say LI like shift less than LI greater than. It also have a corresponding closing tag. And if you check on the screen now, you see one is written there. So the first item is what I've written already. One. Now let's say I want to create a list of, let's say, social media website. I'll say first one will be Facebook. Now number one, Facebook, you can see it there. Number two, I'll create another LI. Later on. So you see two will appear there. Then I can say now WhatsApp. We see WhatsApp is appeared there. Okay, as list number two. For the third one, let me just stop there. Let's say shift less than LI greater than. Let me just say YouTube. YouTube. Now you see, this is how we write our ordered list. It's no different from the unordered list. They are all the same thing. All we do is just to change the container. Now this is for ordered list. For unordered list, sorry, let me still comment on the box. Should I just take this one by the side. Take this one by the side. Make this break. So it will go up a little. Okay. Now, for unordered list, it's just like the same thing. I'll say shift UL. Okay. Now there is a corresponding closing tag. When I say shift LI, you see a bullet will appear there. I can also say, okay, names of, let me just say names of cars. I love cars too. Say names of cars. First, I'll say Toyota. Toyota is number one. Okay, bullet. See for the bullet now, Toyota has appeared there. Let me just put second one, shift less than LI, and I'll say whatever. Okay, I love car and what they call. Okay, let me just say Benz. Forgotten names of cars, don't mind me. Now, this Benz, okay, Toyota and Benz, as you can see, is written like this. Okay, so that's how you can write for your list, and then for your list, ordered and unordered list. This is how you can list your items. This first one is for ordered list. This second one is for unordered. There is no order, that's why there is bullet there. Now for this ordered list, you can as well add other things to it. Like if I want to change this list now, I can give it a type equal to, I can say a, let it have a. See now, small a, it has changed to ABC like that instead of normal this thing. So I can also change it to Roman figure like I to give me, see now, you see Roman figure 1, 2, 3 like that. So whatever you want to do, you can change it, but that applies only to ordered list. For an ordered list, you don't really need a type because it's just bullets. Okay, so but for ordered list, you can change it. On ordered list does not need type. So that's how you write list in the website. Okay, so it's just as simple as this. Either you leave it as 1, 2, 3, or you change it by adding a type, say Roman figure one, and just say, let me use capital letter A. So it will now be capital letter A, B, C, like that. So whatever you want to do in your website, it's up to you how you want it to be styled. Okay, so it's your choice to do anything you want to do in your website. So these are the things, and this is the way you can write your list. Please, you permit me, I want to comment on this form box. You see it, you see it there. I'm going to comment on this because I need space. I don't want to scroll down. Okay, let everything go up. Let me comment on this also. This select down. So let everything go up there. Okay, now I have break here. Let me cancel this one. This will be widening. Okay. So I've commented on that. See, I'm not deleting my work, I'm only commenting on it so that you'll be seeing it clearly as we are going. So the next item I'm going to do, I'm going to be creating a table. I'm going to be creating a table. Let me just, okay, this is a container, so it does not really have much. Let me use a H element to write my table. Let me say H3. Okay, and I'll say table. Table. Okay, that's the topic. Another item, table. Now, a table is simply um a container that can carry a list of items in rows and columns. That's basically the basic definition of table. It's just a container that contains items in rows and columns. But in HTML or on the web, we normally write our table in rows, but it's presented in also column. I'm going to show you that. But how do we write our table? How do we present our table? Our table might not really look fine, okay? Might not really look fine, but when we are doing the CSS, you're going to be seeing some beauty in everything we are doing. Everything is going to be looking fine. But like I told you, HTML is just the written text and the presentation of everything. CSS is how you style your work. So now let's look at table. How do we write it? First, we're going to be creating a table tag. Say shift less than table. Now it has a corresponding closing tag because it's just like a container. So I'm going to open that. Now for the table, we have what we call table row, TR, table row. Now all the things we're going to be writing in a table will be written within this table row. This table is a container that is holding all the rows. Now if you are familiar with your Excel sheets, Microsoft Excel, you will see that in your Excel has some rows and columns. Now, for the first row, you see is one. Most times on the first row, that's where we have our heading, like the title of whatever we want to do. Maybe the second row will have the list of items we want to write, like the heading. Okay, so that's how we write in um on the web too, like in this HTML. Your table, how to create a table. The first row is where we write our item, like okay, the heading. Then the second one and below will be where we'll be adding our data and every other item. Now let me show you something. Now within this table row, now for us to have a heading or list of items we want to have on our website, we have to write it within this first table row. Now how do we do that? We'll say table data, that's shift less than T, and table head, TH. Now this one has a corresponding closing tag. With this TH, I can say, okay, let's say S/N, serial number. Now you see, serial number has appeared here. This is how I'll be writing. I'll write all my serial numbers here. I'll write all my lists here and every other thing. Now the first item within this row, this first row, I'll write it. I'll say shift less than TH greater than, let's say, names. Names. See now names has appeared here. So now serial number one, names will appear here. Then let's say we are trying to create a payroll for a particular company. We're trying to create a payroll. Okay. Okay, let me just give it H3. Let me just give it title. Let's say table for means something like this. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to create something so you see how it is. It's a table for companies payroll. Now you see the next item we're going to write. We've written serial number, we've written name. The next thing will be, let's say, position. Let's use position. Position. Now the client's was as in the worker's position. See your name, your serial number, your name, your position, and let's just say, okay, the next one will be something like, let's say something, let's say salary. So what is this first person collecting? So we're going to list all the items here: serial number, name, position, and salary. This is how you create your table. These are the headings. Now the next item, before we're going to create it, you will have to open another table row. That's row 2. Row 2. Row 1 is always for the heading. Row 2. Now I've created another table row. I've created another table row. Row 2 will now be, now this one is table head. The next one from this one downward will be table data. We're going to be fixing the data according to the head. The first data will be serial number. The second data will be names. The third data will be position. And the last one will be salary. Okay. So you can have as much as heading, a long heading. You can have like 5, 6, 7, 10 items. It all depends on your company's payroll or your company's table. Anything you want to do, you can create a football table, you can create a family table, you can create table for your meals. Okay, anything you want to do, you can create movie table, music table, and anything, charts and the likes. So now for this particular one, the next item I'm going to write will be table data. The first table data to link with the table row. Now this first table data First, I'm going to say 1 because serial number will go with 1. So you see under this serial number, I have number 1 here. So under the name, okay, the next one I'm going to be writing will be sheet 3D. Under the name, I'm going to write in my name, Austin. Okay, so you see my name is appearing under name. Now position. Okay, I work with a company. In that company, I'm developer, software engineer. Okay, what am I doing? Table again. Sorry. Okay. TD data. Okay. So let me just use developer. Okay. So now you see developer is under position. Okay. I'm software engineer, but I just want to use something short that will cover in this part. Now developer. Now the salary for this my listing, let me just put something simple. TD close. Let's say $100. Now let's just do something simple. So now you see the name. First, number 1, number 2, name, number 3, position, number 4, salary. So that's how you write it. Now let's just create one more so that I'm going to skip this part. Let's do some table row again, just for somebody else. Let's use our boss, Mr. David. Okay, let's say TD. Just want to be fast about it. Number 2, TD. Number 2, see number 2 item has appeared there. Table data. Let's say David for the name. Table data. Say let's software, something like that, sharp sharp. Okay, then let's say TD. So it's taking $200. Something like this. So this is how you create a table. Okay. Now serial number 1, 2, name 1, 2, position 1, 2, salary 1, 2. So this is how you create a table, a simple table. You can make it long, you can make your heading more and add more data. But when we get to CSS, you know how to style it and it will be looking so wonderful. Okay. So that's how you create a table for this, as in your HTML. Okay. Now, having talked about table and every other thing attached to it, I want us to look at some other basic properties there. Okay, let's look at some other things, little things, because I'm trying to wrap up this class now. It's more than 1 hour already, so I'm trying to wrap up this class. Now let's look at links. I've not talked about link. Okay, so not be wise for me not to talk about link before I finish my class. Let me break this break. Okay, so now let's talk about links. Now for link, actually we have two basic types of links. Two basic types of links. First, we have the link tag. Link tag. The link tag is simply link. Link. Now this tag, one thing you need to know about this link tag is that it's used to link our web page to other web page within our system. Okay, like you used to link HTML and CSS, you used to link maybe some other online icons like, let's say, Bootstrap or Font Awesome or Google Fonts or any other thing from the web. You can link it to this our website. Okay, that's what this link does. And it's simply, another thing you need to know about it is that it is always written at the head here, at the head, inside the head. So it connects our website to other pages, let's say within our website and also outside, using fonts and every other thing, bootstraps and all that. Okay, so and it's always written here, especially maybe below this title, you can add it here. by saying link, by putting the link here. Okay, it's not really added within the body, it's always in the head, this type of link. So how do we write it? It's written like this, a link. Like this one now is also called a void element. It's written like this. You see, rel is an attribute concerning it, rel. And this rel is kind of like they're trying to relocate from one page to another, is locating something. So this rel, what we normally write here is style sheet. Style sheet. Style sheet. That's what we normally write in this rel. And the next thing, before you link your page to either CSS or external bootstrap or font awesome or Google Fonts or anything you want to link outside here, the next will now be href, what we call href. You are referencing a particular site out of this our web page. You are trying to reference a particular site and bring it into this part. So we'll now write anything. And even we have our CSS already, we can just say, okay, let's say index or style.css, something like this. We can link our style.css if we have our CSS folder or file in this our HTML. But for now, we are dealing with HTML, index.html. So if you want to write CSS, you can write it like this. So this property here, this element is always written at the top here, like I said before, here, immediately after this title or before the title, anywhere in this top, or let it just be immediately after this title. Majorly, defaultly, that's where we normally write it as developers. Okay, we normally write our link below this title. We can have like 3 or 4 links, it doesn't matter. So, but everything has to be written below the title. Okay, so you note that. So don't write link inside your web page. It's not advisable. Okay, so that's that for that. Then that type of link is what we use to link our page. The next one is what we call, break this, break. The next one is what we call a tag. A tag. Now this is another link, another type of link. This one is used to link our web page to other web pages like YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you want to link it to. It's used to link our web page to other web pages. And by doing so, this another property that this one has is that it must have an indicator. You must tell it where it will go to, or an indicator. Rather, you can make it a link, or you can call it a name, or you can use it even within a text. I know most times you see some things. Okay, let's go back to this Google map. Something like this now. This is a link. Say location on Google Maps dash Google My Map, something like this. This is a link. As well as it's having a line under it, is a link. Let's see other links too. Okay, this text, this is a link. This text is a link. You can see something like this. There is, when I hover on it, you can see down here, there is a colored line that is appearing here, something like that. It shows that it's a link. This one also is a link. This is a link. What else? This Wikipedia is a link. You can put link even within a text. I'm going to show you right away. Let's just see some things like that. Okay. Now, this is a link. How do we write this? Within the opening tag, before the ending greater than, we'll write something like href. And within this href, then we place the URL of any website we want to go to. Okay. Now, let's assume I want to. Now, you see now on this page, nothing is showing on this page. Nothing is showing on this page. Let's assume I want to copy this YouTube page. Okay. I have to copy this YouTube URL. Everything here. Let me show you something. I have to copy this. Copy and close it so that you see how it works. Let me open it back here. Copy and paste. I've pasted YouTube here. Now, if you see, check on the screen now, you cannot find the link of YouTube, nothing, because I've not given it an indicator already. I've not done anything. So for me to make that invisible on the web page, I have to put an indicator here before the closing tag, in between the opening and closing tag. I can just say something like this. Then it will open. You can see now. You can see this. If I click this now, this link, it will take us to YouTube. Now see. Now see now. YouTube is loading. Okay. I've entered YouTube from that link I created in my web page. This is how we link it. Okay. Now let me go back. I want to show you something. Now you see me clicking that, my website disappeared and it showed YouTube. Let me do it again. Now you see, still is the same, my website's page. It changed to YouTube. I don't want this. If I don't want this to happen, let's assume I just want my user to just click on the link and go to another page, but leaving my page constant. If I want to do that, I have to do something by calling this link and saying, okay, when I target this link, immediately before the closing, later, I will say, um, I'll give it a direction. The direction is simply target. Target. I'll target it. When I say the target will be blank, like underscore blank, I'm targeting it so that I say I'm trying to let it open to a blank page, a different page, whereby my website will still remember. You can take me to another page. Now let's try this. See now, look at my website, Austin's website. Okay, when I click on this now, you see, my website is still there. Look at it. But YouTube has opened on the other page. So I'm trying to refer my page to another page. Like click this thing to open YouTube. Now YouTube is open on a different page. Now my website is still intact. Okay, that's what that does. So this link, you can use it. Now you see I'm hovering on it and you can see this line. Something is coming up here. Look here. You'll see it. Okay. Okay, this is YouTube, youtube.com, and it's simply showing. So that's how we create links in HTML. Okay. So it's as simple as that. You can use that for many things. You can put link inside a button. You can put it anywhere. Okay, like I said, we have a link inside the text. Okay, let's say I have a bunch of text like let's say, let me open a paragraph. Let me open a paragraph. Say paragraph text. Let's say within this paragraph, I have some text. I'm writing. I say, hello everyone. And I can say, let me put this link here, cut it and paste it here. And here. So it will not be like a link inside. Click here, here to something like this. See now, I've created a text now. I said, hello everyone. I am making a video for you. Click here to view the video. Now let me close this YouTube page. Let me click here within this text now. Now you see the video has opened. Now this is not the video I'm creating actually, it's just a YouTube page, but you can create something like this and say, oh, click here and something will happen. Okay, that's how we link our text to another website. You can put anything you want, but this is a basic way of linking. Within a text, you can do it on its own, you can do it, you can even put it within a button, you can put it anywhere, anywhere. You can make it this, you can make this welcome tag be a link to anything you want to do. This is how you do it. Just put it in an A tag and it will link your page to another page. So that's that for that. Okay, the next thing we're going to be looking at, I'm going to be explaining what block elements are and inline elements are. Maybe that will be the last thing I'm going to do before I go to bed. Okay, now let's just explain all we've done so far. Now, if you check from the beginning, we talked about um we talked about let's say the heading tag. So we said it varies from H1 to H6, and we also talked about our horizontal tag, which we use to impute this line on our web page. Okay, now we also talked about the paragraph tag, that's the P tag, which we use to write some text. Although even the last thing I wrote here now, I use paragraph to write it. And if you can see within our text, this is a paragraph tag, P tag. I wrote some text inside it and I linked it, and you see it's still linking here. Okay, so we did a bunch of stuff here, how to link our pages, how to create table, how to create input box, how to create select box, and every other thing. There are so many things you can do with HTML, but these are few things. Now we also looked at how we'll be able to create videos, how to make video play, how to make input audio and what's it called, image in our website. Now, another thing I want us to look at, let me just list a few things for us before I go. Now, I made mention of some elements. I talked about block elements. I talked about inline elements. I also talked about void elements. Now, block elements. Block elements are those elements that serves as container to a particular object or item. Okay, they serve as container to a particular item. And these containers, when you're talking about block element, this container help us to break our text, like bring our text from inline elements to block elements. Okay, containers are always block elements. Now, for you to convert an inline element to block element, you need a container to make it a block element. And also, if you don't want to use a container, you can use break. If you check, I've been using break since, to bring our text or image to the next line. We can do that by using block elements. And some of the block elements we have in HTML, there are many, there are a lot, but the ones we need, or we use rather majorly, are as follows. Now, although I've used two, oh no, I've used four already. I've used four, four or six. I've used about six. I've used the H tag. This is a block element. All the H tag, both H1 from H1 to H6, they are block elements. P tags too. P tags. P the P is a block element because it's a container that can contain that when you write something, it takes the whole block of code, like the whole space. You see now, this is H element. Nothing is written here beside it. This is a block element. See now, H3 is still a block element. Nothing is written beside it. All the UL, they are all block elements. But let me just list them so that you will see them for yourself. Okay. Now, for the block element, let me just write it in paragraph or in the heading. Let's say, let me use H3 again. Say block element. Okay, block element. Now, block element consists of let's see, the H1. Let me just say H tag. Let's say H tag, something like this. H1. Okay, H1 is a block element. It might not appear on the screen, but just look at my VS Code. H is a block element. P is a block element. Something like this. Then table tag is a block element. These are block elements. And the list tag UL, yeah, those block elements. I want you to be seeing this. These are block elements. Okay, if you can write them down, you can do that. HP, table, UL, OL. Okay. Also, let's say form tag. Form tag is a block element. Also, form tag is a block element. And other block elements that are special, we will not really talk about them, but I'm going to list them for us. Maybe on Saturday while I'm teaching, I'm going to explain them. So we have the div. Div is a block element, is a special block element. We also have what we call section. Section is a block element. We also have what we call nav, the nav bar, navigation bar. We also have header, header. Sorry. That tag is also a block element. We also have main. Main is a block element. We also have, let's say, the one we normally use for the base footer. Footer is a block element. Okay, let me just stop here. These are basic block elements. There are many, but these are basic block elements. Now, this one we've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, we've not used any of this. Subsequent time, we're going to use this and we'll see them more in our CSS. These are major block elements. Okay, these are block elements too. They help us to store items. You can use block elements within a block element. You can use about 5 block elements within block element like that. About 10. It all depends on what you're trying to create. Okay, so these are block elements. If you're writing them, you can jot them down. Okay, now let's look at inline elements. Inline element. Inline element can also serve as a void element too, because some void elements are inline as well. So let's still use the H3 tag to say inline element. Inline elements. Now for the inline element, like I said, inline elements are elements that take as much space as the code in on the web page. Like for the container, all those items, the input, you can see yeah, all of them. If I keep writing them, they'll be going side by side by side. Those ones are inline elements. Also, the image is an inline element, the video is an inline element, and all sorts of things. So many things like that. So let me just list them. Although I've used a few already. Say ing is an inline element. Ing tag. Okay. Ing tag. Video tag is an inline element. Something like this. Input. Input. Tag is an inline element. I'm just trying to put it there so you see the specification. The A tag also is an inline element. The A tag is an inline element. Also, we have, let's say, what other inline elements do we have? There are many, there are many. Okay, I did not mention this one, span tag. Span tag, I'm going to explain this more on Saturday. Span tag is an inline element. We also have I tag. I tag is an inline element. Now, this span and I tag, they are used basically, let me space them so you see. They are used basically to impute icon on our web page. Such icon as all those social media icon, home icon, something like this list icon, different icon, all these arrows and the rest, all these search icon, all those things. These are the tags that are used to put them. Although I have bootstrap icon on this. I'm going to explain this on Saturday about this span and I tag. Okay, they are both inline elements and they are used to, you can be put in within block elements. You can use them within block elements. Okay, so these are inline elements. These are inline elements. Even the break tag too. I use break tag. They are inline elements. Okay, so they are elements that take as much space as they could, or they can be used or placed within the block elements. So all these are inline elements. So like I also mentioned, void elements. Void. Let me use H3 again. Void elements. Void element. Let me use calculator. Void elements. Now, void elements are elements that does not have corresponding closing tag. Element that does not have corresponding closing tag. And such elements include the horizontal line, horizontal elements like HR, PR, ING, let's say image tag. They don't have corresponding closing tag. Let's say impute tag. This one does not have corresponding closing tag. Okay. The tag does not have corresponding closing tag. So these are a few what's it called? Void elements. Even the link, something like this. The link tag does not have corresponding closing tag. All these are void element. Any element that you see that does not have closing tag like this, closing tag forward slash and the property there, they are all called void elements. So I believe this video will be helpful to those who are beginners in web development. This is HTML class, and I am Austin. Okay, I'm Austin, and on Saturday I'm going to be teaching more about this. But if there's any comments, you can put it on the WhatsApp group. If there's any question, you don't understand what I explain on some of these things, still put your comment on the WhatsApp group. I'm going to attend to any question concerning this. Any question I said, any question. Okay, so just take your time and follow suit. So you're going to enjoy all this, and I believe we're going to get there. Okay. So at this point, I'm going to say good night to you guys. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. I love you all.